Hello, friends, and welcome back to Dots of Destiny. Om Namah Shivaya. Friends, today I have started with the new year, the year 2025, how it is panning out for all the ascendants. So today I've taken the fire signs to start with. This new year will see a lot of changes, and the changes will be sometimes a little unsettling, and but we have to go with the thing. I will write down the on the screen. I will give the transits, whatever it is happening in its due course. The thing is that mainly the this year 2025 is governed by three phases. What I have taken, the way I have chosen to speak about it. First is the 3 months of January, February, and March. This is where Saturn is still in Aquarius and Jupiter is also in Taurus, and it goes from being direct to retrograde. So, and Mars is like hovering around Cancer and Gemini. So this is the time of the year. January, February, March is a built up time where every individual in a small scale or a big scale will face some kind of situations where they are building up for some kind of a change that is inevitable this year. One thing about this year is that change is inevitable. We cannot do away with that. It will happen. So first thing is that. Now, as Saturn changes his sign into Pisces, the change will be felt in the month of April and also in the month of May and June. These 3 months, the thing is that not only Saturn changes that energy of April, in meantime Venus also goes retrograde. But May month again sees a lot of changes with Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu all changing signs. Now, this is quite tumultuous. April, May, June. Why? Because as you know, you are more or less quite aware that Pisces is housing lot of planets this year during the month of April, and at that point of time two planets again goes retrograde. Venus and Mercury goes retrograde during that time when it is in Pisces. Though whether direct, whether retrograde, Mercury is getting a Nij Bhanga from Venus being there. Now again a shift is happening because Saturn in Pisces with Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Sun all in April month will be there. Now, when Saturn stabilizes in this April month, Rahu is in the zone of changing sign from Pisces to its own sign of Aquarius. So here Aquarius sees in the month of March ingress of Rahu, and Leo will house Ketu. So March May month will be very much full of that implementation of those changes that are coming up. Any change, first it is in the brain that the change will happen, in the consciousness. Then we come to execute the change. So that execution or thinking part will happen in the first 3 months. Then from April, May, June, the changes will start happening, and we have to go with the changes in these 3 months. And then from July onwards, we will see a little bit settlement of the changes that has already happened. So that's why January, February, March is different. April, May, June is different. June, why I'm saying is that Mars will come into Leo and will have a conjunction with Ketu in the month of June. June it will come closer. Then it will have an exact conjunction with Ketu in the month of July. And then it will change sign. So July, August, September, these months will be different. July, August, September. Again, October also, kind of. November will see Jupiter getting into Cancer, and December will see Jupiter is retrograding back. So again, November, December will have a little bit of different kind of flavor that is understood, especially due to the transit of Jupiter here and there. Now, when all these things are happening in the month of June, Saturn goes retrograde, and the retrogression is such that it reaches again towards the 0 degree of Pisces. So precisely, I have jot down the dates because there are so many dates to be talked about. When it will be 30th October, 30th October. See again this November, December, why it is different. November, December will see in the watery trikon, Mars will be coming into its own sign Scorpio. Jupiter will be in Cancer and Saturn will be in Pisces. As this is happening this year, my last video, the trines, watery trines getting activated by Mercury, Rahu and Mars, same will happen again next year in the month of November, the watery trines getting activated. So again, the big planets now, these are really effective because Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, these are very, very effective in the watery signs will come. And again will start the process nearly from 0 degrees. So what is happening in this year totally is that as far as Saturn is concerned, it is not moving an inch. If you see in the reality that it is starting from 0 degree Pisces, again coming back to 0 degree. When it will go direct in the month of December, it will be again in 0 degree Pisces. So that means whatever activity, whatever things, whatever decisions that has been taken in the year of 2025 regarding Saturn will see some kind of a reassessment again, starting right from the beginning of the degrees of Pisces. Jupiter's sudden movement, it is a very high movement because in 1 year, a planet like Jupiter is transiting 3 signs. From January to May, it will be in Taurus. Then it goes to Gemini. Till October, it will be in Gemini. November, it enters into Cancer. It does not go retrograde unless and until it is December, by the end of the year. So you can see there is a very fast and swift movement of Jupiter from February as it goes direct in Taurus to 0 degrees of or 1 degrees of Cancer. It will go again retrograde in the month of December, the last month of the year 2025. So Jupiter's impact will be very fast, and in this the fast atichari transit of Jupiter, because Jupiter is the rectification planet, I feel whenever Jupiter enters into a sign, the purpose of Jupiter is to give the knowledge to that area of our life and how to change the things in that area and to what betterment. That is because it is the guru, it is the natural knowledge giver. And that is how we rectify the process in that 13 months. Usually Jupiter stays for 12 to 13 months in a sign. But here when the knowledge is given to us, it is so fast and so quick that some knowledge we may get, but some we can just overlook. And that is why I feel Saturn is again coming back into 0 degrees of Pisces. Having started from Pisces by 30th of March, it will start from 0 degrees. Again in December, when it after completion of its retrogression, it goes direct, it will again be at 0 degrees. So it is like we have to repeat the process, whatever we started from March. Because Saturn is a planet who believes in making a solid base, as Jupiter believes in rectifying the process through a knowledge. Saturn believes in making a base for everything, and whenever Saturn enters a sign, you will see that it totally rejects whatever you have done till date, more or less, to that area of your life. Now, if it goes into your 10th house, it doesn't mean it rejects everything. It rejects maybe the process of what and how you had been doing the things till now. And so you have to get into a better process of doing the thing, reinventing different ways, processing yourself to make new changes so that it is better in every possible way, and you get long-term gains from that. That is the word of Saturn, that it is the greatness of Saturn does not come easily. So that's why it requires a lot of slogging, a lot of thinking, a lot of re-looking back. That's why it goes retrograde for a very long time, and it is very having a slow movement. Now, like it has gone direct, it is kind of stationary. It is making us think about different things before it is moving slowly its movement forward and completing its final movement in the sign of Aquarius, its Mool Trikon. So that's why there are a lot of changes, and I will make videos separately. I will make these videos of Jupiter in Taurus, Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter in Cancer, obviously, Saturn in Pisces, and last but not the least is Rahu Ketu is a big change this year. Rahu moving into its own sign of Aquarius, where I feel it will really work well. All the significance of Aquarius are satisfied by Rahu. First and foremost, it's an airy sign. Rahu is an airy planet. Aquarius is group activities. It is thinking out of the box. It is the intellectuals. And Rahu is also that kind of a planet. It fits the bill. And I feel personally Saturn fits more into the area of Capricorn, where you slog, hard work, like a crocodile, you have to keep on doing the things and you have to wait for the chance to happen so that you grasp it. And here emotions doesn't work in the 10th house matters in Capricorn. But Aquarius is a lighter version of Saturn, if I can say, if I can use those words. Rahu works brilliant over here. Rahu in Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Rahu is at its intellectual best. Libra, still it gives problems in relationship area. Business wise, it is better in Libra, overseas or anything. But Aquarius is the true intellectual thing. Gemini is more of the communication factors that comes in, and Rahu is a great communicator. But Aquarius is the thinking box. It has the full, it has all nakshatras. Gemini has Ardra. This has Swati, Libra. And this has Shatabisha. Shatabisha is that Rahu will be very effective in the, now it is in Uttar Bhadrapada, it will go to Purva Bhadrapada. Once it comes into Shatabisha, it will be in the full form of Rahu, giving the full result of the Aquarius group activities, unknown groups, Rahuish, which are not known to you, very foreign type of groups, that all those things will happen. That will come into fruition, and then there will be a lot of changes in your intellectual abilities. That is the Rahu in Aquarius. It is a good transit, and Jupiter will also aspect this Aquarius for a certain amount of time when it is in Gemini. But Ketu in Leo is, actually if you go by the sign, Ketu has Magha Nakshatra, the first 13 degrees of Leo. Yes, if Leo is a very gorgeous and very royal sign, and it is a shining, you have to shine. When whatever comes into Leo, it has to shine, whether Mercury, Venus, Saturn, whatever planet, if it is housing Leo, it has to shine over there. That is the characteristics of Leo. That's why sun, its own mool trikon, its own sign is brilliant out there, because it's a shining, most shining planet of the universe. Now the thing is that Ketu here, the Magha Nakshatra in Leo denotes that you have the kingship, but king is the person who should be most benevolent also. And for the goodness of the king, as we know, the king's the nature should be so magnificent. It should be like Ketu, that working not for any self desire. So Leo and Ketu, the problem is that Ketu is a very hot planet and Leo is a very hot sign. Here things will get very heated up, but actually it gives you a lot of definition in the sign of Leo, and I will describe it in my when the video I will do in Rahu Ketu transit. See, because I don't want to do early videos. Suddenly if I make a video of now like Rahu going into Aquarius and Ketu in Leo, which is already there, I have seen people making it, it is quite far away. Let us deal with November, December, January, February, March. A lot of things are there to be heard and seen about. Why to jump into May when things are quite far away? So, but I'll make this video, Ketu, how it fits in Leo. It's because it is for the higher good. King, the problem with us is now we see such governments and kings that who work for own desire. The work of the king is for the outlook of the society, not about himself. So that's why Ketu, where it comes, it totally frees you from that area. That is why, Ketu is not good in Libra, because Libra requires patience, relationship. It is the seventh house, and that's why Ketu being in Virgo now, we see lot of changes in the sixth house area. People are dealing with court cases. That always happens, but you'll see the work environment is getting changed a lot nowadays, and that is a very current of late in 2025. I'm seeing there's a lot of changes in the job front for a lot of people. That is what the response I'm getting now. Ketu in Leo is a different energy. Leo is the king, and if you are a king in whatever area your Leo is, you feel king-like over there. You have to not get rid of the kingship, but you have to get rid of your own motives over there. That is what Ketu is in Leo will teach us when Ketu crosses over all the nakshatras of Leo, which I'll talk definitely. So this is a very year which I cannot say whether it will pan out good or bad, because it will vary from sign to sign, person to person. Dasha is the king, as we know, but a lot of things will come into perspective and we have to deal with it, and hopefully astrology gives us that guidance to go through these times, which are not very easy to deal with, but I hope we'll all be able to cope through it. And yes, obviously in this whole 12 months everything cannot be challenging. There will be settling months also, there will be good signs also that will be happening, that every month we'll talk about. But as of now, what I've thought is a gist of all the ascendants in separate video I will be putting out in what will be happening in the year 2025 for each ascendants. So let's talk about all the ascendants. Welcome Sagittarius ascendants. Today here I'm talking about the planetary conditions and the results that will happen due to the changes in 2025 year. Now, the first thing about 2025 is that I have taken the year into three clusters. First is January, February, March, and then is April, May, June, and then July and nearly the rest of the year. Now, the first 3 months is, as you know, Saturn's last phase in Aquarius, and it's your third house. Jupiter, your Lagna Lord, was all throughout in the sixth house, and it was really not helping you much in, other than, you had maybe some changes in your professional area. Health-wise, you could have suffered, you're still suffering maybe. And so that is how the beginning of the year will start. Now, over here, Venus will be your 11th lord, will be joining Saturn in the third house in the beginning of the year. And Sun will be, and Mercury will be on your Lagna. Now, this arrangement is not bad. You can get a boost of personality and some kind of things, especially if you run a more or less okay dasha, then Buddhaditya Yoga on the Lagna is good. And it can give you some vision for the near future, which is coming and will inevitably will require some changes to be made in life. Now, in also one thing is that your fifth lord Mangal, which is very important, Mars, is in your 8th house. Now it will come back retrograde in your 7th house. So here, retrograde Mars in the Gemini, it is not very, your partner can go through some changes, some problems, some fights, some disagreements, as Mars is that kind of a planet, but it will go direct in the month of February. And again, it starts its journey from there. Now, that's why these 3 months, that is Sun being on the Lagna in the second house, and it'll have a conjunction with Saturn in the third house, because Sun is your Bhagya Lord. And so Sun's transit in the first, second and third, and Mars transit in the 7th and 8th is the theme of the beginning of the year, and Jupiter is already in the 6th house. It will go direct. Now, this condition, as it is happening, you are thinking of, or you're contemplating, or you will have to arrive with some kind of a change when Saturn enters into your 4th house. Now, the thing is that when a planet like Saturn enters 4th house, the changes that is felt is not very easy. The emotions are not very easily accepted over there, or the emotions that you go through, because Saturn is a very that kind of a planet. It's called Kantak Shani if you have a moon in Sagittarius. But from the Lagna also, if you are running a 4th Saturn, that is the theme when Saturn comes in Pisces in the month of April, because that is a major change in April. And Saturn being in Pisces, Mars again moves into debilitation in the 8th house, in the sign of Cancer, in the 2nd of April. Now, here is the thing is that during these 2 months, Jupiter will be direct. But some changes in your home front and also your thinking pattern will see some kind of a change. And you will have to go through this process now. See that it's quite not very, in the sense, affrontly, I have to say that when Saturn goes into the 4th house, why it is called conjunction is that you feel that you have to stand against your family members. And wherever Saturn goes, it creates such kind of a feeling that you don't get much support from them. So April month will be that kind of a month where you can feel you are not getting the support. Now wait, April month is just the change of Saturn. Now the thing is that your Rahu is also with Saturn in the 4th house and Ketu is in the 10th house. This change of your Lagna Lord into the 7th house in the month of May, 15th or 16th May, Jupiter is changing sign, and Rahu Ketu by the end of May, Rahu will go into the 3rd house, Ketu in the 9th house. 9th house Ketu gives sudden journeys. If your father's health is not very good, it needs to be checked and kept into account. It's not a very good position for Ketu in Leo. You have to have like that, because see, you are now Jupiter coming into the 7th house and aspecting your Lagna. Saturn comes into the fourth house, also aspects your Lagna. You will have to, see, you will grow as an individual in this year, no doubt about that. But at the same time, your Saturn coming into the fourth will aspect your 10th house. Jupiter is seeing the Lagna and the third and the 11th, and Rahu is already in the third. Some initiative you have to take with the knowledge of Jupiter that is aspecting your Lagna, which is a beautiful thing. And that decision will have something to do with your 10th area, as Mercury gets retrograde in the sign of Pisces, goes into debilitation in the fourth house in the first, same time as Venus goes retrograde during February, March, and it goes direct by April. So now you are ready for your professional things to take a different leap. Now, these changes that will happen in April, May, June, why I have kept it in the second cluster is that which you have thought of, which was inevitable in January, February, March, you have to go through April, May, June. And these changes will, take your life into a different kind of a scenario. That is for sure. So this change, whether it is very good or, because see, Saturn fourth house usually takes a person away from the comfort zone, from the house, far away from your own members, your family members. They don't support you. You start your work only on your own and feeling that yes, you can cover it, you can do with it. So that kind of a scenario will definitely start, and April, May, June will seeing that process happening. That process will happen. And the one thing is that Mars will move into your fifth lord will move into the ninth house, which is actually a very good thing. Actually, Mars can give long distance journeys, can give some fortune upliftment. Jupiter also will be aspecting your Lagna, Mars aspecting the third house. All these are good actually, but it will meet with Ketu in the month of June. It will start its journey in Leo, and July it will have the exact conjunction with Ketu. Now, conjunction with Ketu, again, I'll say that mainly the health of your father, relationship with your father, with guides, if you're doing a higher learning or something like that, which many Sagittarius people, they do, these things can take a little bit of turn for not so good, because Mars is fire, Leo is fiery sign, Ketu is also very heated up, and Ketu is like very sharp in cutting of things, putting of things away, and all these things. And also it is your fifth lord. So your Bhagya Dasha can also take a little bit of change. Now all these things, as it is going on, this is April, May, June, these process will happen. So what I was seeing in January, February, March, you had to go for a change. The change is panning out in April, May, June. Now July end, Mars enters your 10th house. This is a good position. Now I can say your Mars, your fifth lord, which was going through a very troubled phase, has entered into a good phase in the 10th house. Yes, aspected by Saturn. Shani Mangal is not bad. For me, I will never say Shani Mangal opposing each other is bad. Only thing is that Mars wants to do it very quick. And here Mars will be aspecting your Lagna. Jupiter will be aspecting your Lagna, and also Saturn is aspecting Lagna. You'll have some kind of a pressure in the work area about yourself, have to shoulder some responsibilities. Something will take your attention totally. That is regarding yourself, for your growth, your importance only. But don't go fast, because Mars and Saturn, that's why this is the only issue. Mars is very fast, Saturn is slow. In a calibrated way, in a structured way, you make the things happen in the 10th house, because Mars will then go into your 11th house also. So here, when Mars goes into the 11th house, Venus will have most probably a conjunction with Ketu at that time, when Mars will be in the 11th. Mars going into Libra has some problems with relationships. So that is the only thing. 16th September. Yeah, 16th September, Mars enters into Libra. And when Mars enters into Libra, Rahu will be aspecting this Mars. And in that time only, after that 15th of September only, Leo will see Venus coming in and having a conjunction with Ketu. So for all the ascendants, anything, Venus is relationship, Libra is also that. So a little careful for you, your environment, the relationships around your environment. Maybe if you're married, relationship regarding that also, you have to keep a check on that, because Mars in Libra creates sudden, tumultuous things in relationships, up and down. And Ketu being with Venus in a fiery sign, it can suddenly catch a fire. Not literally, but if you are running that kind of a dasha of Venus, a dasha of Mars, a Rahu, in these things, so keep a check on that. Now then, by the end of the year, this will happen from 15th September to 30th October. 30th October, Mars moves into Scorpio, your 12th house. Now here again, your Moksha Trikon will be active with Mars being in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces, and Jupiter in November will suddenly enter into your 8th house of exaltation. Like the thing that is happening now, when Mars is in 8th house, debilitation, Mercury is in your 12th house, and Rahu is in the 4th house. This year, 2024, same scenario, November, next year it will happen. Now it means that when Moksha Trikon is again and again getting activated, it means that we need some time off, and some detachment regarding certain things has to be done. Now, detachments are not always bad. It does not always push you to lose everything. Maybe your own baggages. Maybe see, when Jupiter goes, as it is transiting in the 6th house, you had some time which you feel that it is not the way. Your work environment has not panned out in a very good way, or whatever it is that you feel, or any kind of dissatisfaction with relationships, with house, with work area, Ketu being this year, I'm talking, these things as have happened, you have to get rid of these things in the next year. And maybe the process of next year is such, you think, you implement, and then you get rid of the things that is not serving you anymore. Even the smallest of a load on your shoulder, which is unwanted, is a load, isn't it? So that needs to be cleared. Moksha Trikon getting activated is not about losses. Losses are a very general term. We can also want to lose, which are of no good to us now. That can be a simple emotion also. Being too much emotional about things is also, it doesn't take anywhere. That's why Saturn likes the process of being emotionally intelligent. Where to put how much of emotions, that is very important. Now, this year is, I'll not call it a good or a bad year, but for you, it is, especially from May month, as Jupiter enters Gemini and Jupiter aspects your Lagna, and Jupiter goes into 8th house, again comes back in the month of December, it retrogrades and comes back. It should be a year where self-growth is most important. Because as you know, the double transit of Jupiter Saturn is aspecting Sagittarius as Jupiter enters Gemini, your 7th house. For marriage, it's a good year. You can go for marriage. For initiations, for change of environment, Rahu in the 3rd house is good. Jupiter aspecting the Lagna is good. Mars, when it's the 10th in the 11th house, it is good. Barring the fact that Saturn's aspect in the 10th house is also good. Virgo is a sign Saturn likes. It's not a bad aspect at all. But Saturn in the 4th house will give some loneliness at heart. You cannot avoid it. And the loneliness comes when you realize that, see, Saturn is a realization master, I call it. It makes you realize even the person you rely on so much, they are all human beings. They have their own emotions and own settlements to deal with. We get too much attached to things, thinking that this is where we are permanent residents. We are all, no, nothing is permanent here. And everything takes a different turn when Saturn shows the reality. Fourth Saturn slowly will show you have to detach from your home front, your home quarrels, your home environment. Too much, if you have an attachment to any property, anything like that, you have to detach from it socially. I mean, physically, socially, mentally, whatever it is, because otherwise, then how you'll move forward? If you stick on, Saturn's job is to make you understand in a rough way, but it makes you understand how to get the process of detachment being done. So it's not a bad year, Sagittarius. The year that 2024 was, because there was Jupiter does not serves very well in the sixth house unless getting you some kind of a job or professional growth being in the Artha Trikon. It can give you some health issues also. Here you will rectify those things as Jupiter moves into Gemini. Now your Lagna Lord is moving very fast. From February, as it goes direct, February, March, April in Taurus, May, June, July, August, September, October in Gemini, and then again November, December in Cancer. So you will be also in a hurry, I find, because you will know that these are the times that I need to act so that I can grow. And Rahu in the third will push you towards acting. You do act, no doubt, but nothing but about it. Just that Ketu is in Leo, so your Bhagya Dasha suddenly, because see, it's a fortune house. Not that Ketu does not work well in Leo, but too much fiery element in the ninth house can sudden make you feel that I am capable of things. There is divinity is not wanted, but it's not like that. Saturn will make you realize in the sign of Pisces that ultimately it is a surrender that will work in your life so that you can go to greatness. That is why the greatness of Saturn comes late, and people get not it doesn't work well with most of the people. They get upset, frustrated. But that is how Saturn works. It's not a bad year. Definitely, you will face some kind of a growth this year, 100%, until Jupiter is in Gemini. Jupiter in Cancer in your 8th house is not bad. It will give you insights and a lot of other things, inheritances and things like insurance, investment and all these things. 8th house is not a bad house for Jupiter. I have seen that. Jupiter transit in the 8th house gives a lot of insights. Other than if you grow in little bit in your weight may take a little bit of upward scale. Look into that. Look into your health. You have to shoulder responsibility. Saturn will be constantly aspecting your 10th house. Your 10th house things will change. Maybe it was, in a very, with Ketu, it was like in a zone where it is like, I felt like whether I'm doing or not doing, it is the same thing. These things will change in this year. So for you, it can be said it's a lot of dynamic changes that will happen this year. Hope you go with the changes and hope whatever I'm speaking is of this insight helps you in your journey in 2025. So have a good year, Sagittarius ascendants. Thank you.